Okay, hello everyone and best regards from Rio Plus 20 Summit from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This is the last day what we are going to have and hopefully will we have today some kind of political strong recommendations and a strong will showing up from the governments. The outcome document was being accepted already a couple of days ago. It really shows that it's not in the ambitious level what we expected out of the whole meeting. But I think that if you're reading that more carefully, you can find quite a lot of good things from there too. Of course, we are still hoping that there are politicians who can really implement that very strongly and heavily and recognize that importance of the discussions what has happened here. I just would like to highlight a couple of the wording what is there in the document. I think that there's a really good thing is that it's really recognized the sustainable development and all the three pillars, including economical, environmental and financial development, which is really, really good news. There's also the good news that the follow-up process, so-called Sustainable Development Goals process, didn't start it here, but it was agreement to start the process where to go on. And the good thing is, especially from our side, is that these goals will be universal, meaning that also the northern people have their responsibilities taking care about this planet and its peoples living here. So that's very, very important. There's a couple of very good right-based approach points, right to food, right to water, which has never written down before in the United Nations documents, which I think that is one of the really the success stories what we have lobbied heavily as NGOs, so we should be happy on that. Of course, the most interest what we and you in the summer school really should put emphasize is the education side. Of course, majority of the text in the document is based on the formal education, really having the education for all. Of course, this is absolutely key starting point, and that's very important that it's mentioned very heavily on there. What is not so much there is, of course, the global education, development education side. There's the education for sustainable development mentioned quite precisely, and it's emphasizing that role and quality of the education. But it's more linked on the formal education side, which I personally hoped to get a little bit more on the non-formal and informal side. And this is perhaps one of the things what we need to definitely follow in the future, but we will see that. There's also some points concerning for the global education as a word, but it's more like in the context of international exchange and this kind of thinking. So it really looks like that we need to do a lot of awareness raising too amongst of the many actors still, that we can really have that much more taking account. There is the role of engaging citizens there, which is very important. I really see that there's of course the role of the civil society too has been recognized, but this engaging the citizens really gives, I would say, that opportunities for us to think about how we are really engaging the citizens as a consumers or as a parents, as a actors, as a politicians, and really thinking what we can promote and what we can really help everyone to understand why it's so important to do the development education work in every levels. Perhaps a couple of comments what I would like to give the ideas on for the future is that I do recognize the need to use this document, because this is now the document for the politicians, for the civil servants all over the world. So we definitely need to work on that. We need to understand and have the debate internally about the education for sustainable development, how we can link that or work together from the perspectives of the development education. Big challenge for us, how we can get those who are already working with the education for sustainable development come together with us, how we can find a common understanding on that. We do have to work on the concept of active citizenship, what we have again started and what you are deepening in the summer school too. And then we need to think about how we can, using these three pillars of the sustainable development, when we are talking about, for example, in different ministries in our governments and in our countries, how we can deal with that. That's one of the things. I think what is really missing from the document is the values And I think that this is now the future where we have to go, what we need to promote. Using this document, using these political discussions at the moment, every corner of the world, putting the values as a core business, and then we can really find the ways what we should do in the future and which kind of world we want to have in the coming years before the MGDs are going to end, and being active participants in the process of the sustainable development goals. So these are just my first reactions as an outcome of the Rio. I'm really sorry I can't be with you there physically to continue these debates, but I love to do that afterwards, and I do hope all the best for you and really having the good debates and good empowering of yourselves and your colleagues after the summer school. So have a nice time there and enjoy. Thank you very much.